All right, today we're going to work on the ground part, the floor, the ground right here. We are going to start with raw umber, Naples yellow, and black, and ivory. I have here ivory black. Any black will do. So if you mix ivory black with Naples yellow or any yellow, you will get a green, an earth gray green. So, and it's a really nice green. So we can start with kind of, you want to see the yellow more than anything. You don't want too much dark black in there. And this is both of them, these two colors together, mixed together. That's the way, that's what you're going to get, this color. I'm going to take a little bit of raw umber and put it in here as well, just to give that kind of earthy, warm color in there. Raw umber has green in it as well. So I'm going to start from the back. Okay, that's good. And I can see this even in the reference, that any part that's around the car from outside, not underneath the car, around it, is kind of a little bit darker. So to darken, instead of using black, I'm going to use raw umber. And I'm going to mix my raw umber with that same green mixture. See that? That is good. That's exactly what I'm looking for, because I want this part to be lighter and this part next to the car to be kind of slightly darker. And also, raw umber will give you that kind of a darker color without the muddiness. So sometimes when you're mixing your color with black, you will find that the color is a little bit becomes a little bit muddy. Of course.
Oh, sorry, are we using raw umber or burnt umber?
Raw umber. Burnt umber didn't work.
Okay.
Burnt umber was too brown, and we want this kind of green in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when you want to darken your colors, any color, you don't want to use black with your color, because the black is going to muddy your color. So you go to other colors, different colors, like opposite color on the color wheel, complementary color to darken, or you know, add a brown or add purple. So, but in this case here, because we want that green, earthy green kind of color, this combination works very well. It looks great.
Yeah, I really like this color. It reminds me of, we had a porch with kind of a color like this.
Really? Yeah.
Kind of, the cement, the way, yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of that color.
Yes. So now I'm going to continue. So I'm going to take again some black and Naples yellow, and you know, make this kind of green again, and more yellow, Naples yellow in there. Take some again raw umber and put it in there, in that, but with more Naples yellow. So the ratio of the Naples yellow is more in this case. So not a lot more, but yeah. So I'm just going to get some kind of a I'll take a bit of raw umber, put it in here. So this part will have more raw umber and Naples Yellow than the black and Naples Yellow, because I'm highlighting, so raw umber works better in this case with Naples Yellow. This is just the just the first layer, and then we'll put some lines, some kind of interesting texture in here in a minute. But for now, we're just kind of creating this values, you know, just kind of putting where there's dark and light. Now I'm going to move on to underneath color, which is, as you can see, it's really dark. And then I'll pause. So I'm taking now, the ratio is more of the black mixed with Naples Yellow. And I'm going to take more raw umber, put it in here, darken. Kind of a nice grayish color for now, and then I can add more if I want, and I think I will, of course. So I'm going to do this. For now, let it dry. Now I can darken a little bit more, so I'm going to take both raw umber and black and go in. Maybe it's better to wait for it to dry. Then this way I can get a real dark color. Right now it's mixing with the Naples Yellow. Alright, I'm going to wait a bit. Okay. I'm going to pause for a minute and then we'll come back. So I added here a layer of just raw umber because it's dry. So when I put the color, it goes really dark. But just raw umber, no other color. But when I got to this part, when, you know, come out of underneath the car, I took a bit of yellow, Naples Yellow, and with the corner of my brush, I just softened the transition between dark and light, between just the raw umber and the color I had here before. So to have this kind of done in a soft transition, all I did is I added Naples Yellow to the color, to raw umber. Because, you know, I was using just raw umber underneath the car. I added a bit of Naples Yellow to it, and then with the corner of my brush, instead of doing this, painting this way, kind of flat, I turned my brush around, corner, and then I just kind of blended. I was just blending softly. Don't push hard, just a bit. And that will give you a softer shadow coming out from underneath the card. Again, with the corner of my brush, I'm just going to get a little bit of, if possible, a little bit of Naples Yellow into the raw umber here. Not much, just a bit. And honestly, we don't have to do it. You don't have to put that. Even if you have dark in there, that's fine. All the whole thing between the two wheels. If you have just dark, that's fine. By the time we start putting the color of the card, we're not going to see any of that. I'm going to take a little bit of, again, Naples Yellow, raw umber, tiny bit of black to get that greenish color. And I'm going to come here at this point and just kind of highlight a little bit right here. Not much, just a bit. You can hardly see it. Just kind of around the wheel. And also, actually, I'm going to leave this. Once I put the wheel on, the two wheels, then I will adjust if I need to adjust something. But I think we're good. We don't need to do anything. Just kind of get to this part. And then I'm going to use, when you're ready, we're going to use a little bit of brown, burnt umber with these colors. We're going to glaze some burnt umber here and there. So for now, let's kind of darken underneath the card, and then coming out, highlight a little bit more, make the color lighter, blend it softly, and just we'll leave it like that. I'm going to pause. Okay, so now we are going to put some texture on this, in this area here. So before we put any kind of hint for a pavement lines, let's put some texture. And I have here burnt umber and raw umber right there, and some Naples Yellow. Let's start with burnt umber. I'm just going to take burnt umber with a round brush, small round brush, and it doesn't have to be thick. And I'm going to put a kind of stuff on the ground, leaves, texture, whatever, you know, kind of like a couple of very, not much, just a couple of things that makes it look like it's not just clean, perfect pavement. Let's take a bit of burnt umber and touch of Naples Yellow, and let's put here with the round brush a hint of something happening. It's more like a glaze, so it's not thick. I put a bit of water, dipped my tip of my brush in water, and I'm just gonna kind of take it here. These little things, you think they're, you know, sometimes you look at them and think, why are they there? Well, sometimes to give balance, sometimes to make it more interesting, and sometimes to break the perfect, clean floor that you see in there, like ground or surface that you see here, because we have a really busy background. So if we have busy background and then nothing here, it looks off a bit. So that's why it's a good idea to use a little bit of texture at the bottom, not as much as up, what we have up here, but something to balance. And here, right there, kind of, I mixed Naples Yellow and a little bit of burnt umber, and just put, kind of break that line that I have here with this color. Naples Yellow, burnt umber. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just kind of doesn't have to be something specific. Just kind of brush strokes to break that line. Okay. Now, for me to get a nice kind of two-dimensional, not a flat kind of texture in here, I'm just going to take a little bit of white and put it in the same mixture of the burnt umber. Okay, nothing much, just a tiny bit of white, just to kind of get the value a little bit lighter, and then kind of over what we did before, and that will kind of makes the colors or the texture interesting. It's not flat, it has a bit of volume, it has a bit of highlight. Same thing here, touch, and then I'm just going to take nothing, it just kind of dots. Right, now let's go to this other side, because we'll have to put something here. Oops, just highlight this a bit. I could have used burnt umber. The thing is with burnt umber, Naples Yellow instead of white. But the more Naples Yellow you put, the more yellow it will look. So I just wanted something that makes the burnt umber lighter. That's all. Okay, good. We don't need to put too much here. That's perfect enough. Now we can decide if we want a line to go across here to, make it look like a pavement, or just leave it just the way it is. Which I think it's fine, just the way it is. We don't have much room. Unless you have a lot of room down here, down at the bottom. If you have a bit, like what I have right here, you don't really need more than that. It's fine. Don't forget that the car is going to be detailed as well. So we have a lot of detail on the car. And that's what we're going to do next. But let me know if you want to put the lines on yours later on. I am not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it just the way it is. That's enough. And we'll take it from there. Now, otherwise, we'll start with the car. So for the rooftop, this is what we're going to do now. Next, burnt umber, Naples Yellow, let's do burnt umber, Naples Yellow for the first layer. And then we'll move on to some highlights and some darks. Round brush. I'm using a round brush. You can use any brush you like, you feel comfortable with. Good. All right, so this color looks really clean right now and bright, and so we're going to make it a little bit more weathered. Let's take a bit more of the burnt umber and put a touch of raw umber in there. And then let's come here and then start kind of messing it up. Doesn't have to be exactly what you see in the background, in the reference. Any kind of texture is fine, especially right here where it starts turning, right there. Okay, let's take more of the raw umber at this point. Just kind of, you don't have to clean your brush, don't have to do anything. Grab a bit of raw umber and add it. Okay. Okay. That's good. We don't need to put too much. Then I'm just going to take a bit of white and into the original color of the roof that we mixed here, tiny bit of white, and then add this kind of highlighted color, just to make it look, first of all, to make it look different, a bit different, and a bit of highlight will make it pop. And again, just kind of here and there, nothing, don't make it too clean. Especially because also acrylic dries darker. So there. It's good enough. A little bit more of the white into the original color. Again, a little bit more white, and I'm just going to enhance the white in here, the light color in here. Go back, grab some burnt umber. Don't clean your brush, just kind of use this color that you have on the brush to your advantage. All right, that's enough. Perfect. We don't need more than that. It's good enough. Okay, so for the car, I have cadmium red medium here and raw umber. Cadmium red deep will do. That will be fine. If you don't have cadmium red deep and cadmium red medium, but you do have cadmium red light, just add raw umber, same way we're doing right now. It will be a little bit more orangey, or alizarin crimson. All right, let's do the first layer. The first layer is going to be a mid-tone. It's going to dry darker. I'm using two brushes. One is the round brush, and the other one is just flat. Okay. I'm going to pause for 1 minute. I'll be back. All right, now let's put some, again, red, and we will highlight this red. Okay, now a little bit of red in here, and that is kind of from the wall, whatever, something kind of you see through the windshield, you see the wall. A little bit of red here, tiny bit, and I think we're good. Now, I cleaned my brush. I'm going to take more of the cadmium red medium, mix it, mix a bit of raw umber in it. And let's put the second layer. And we don't really have to make it again perfect. It is a weathered patina, so we can just kind of put the color in there. And you will see in a minute, to make it look round, we will have to highlight it in one spot. Otherwise, this hood of the, not hood, the trunk will look flat. So now it looks flat. For us to make it look 3D, we will have to highlight mostly this part right here, right here. And we'll do it in a minute using cadmium red light. But for now, let's do the second layer that we're doing right now, which is mid-tone. So we started with the dark red, and it's now we're moving on to mid-tone, and it's cadmium red medium with raw umber, a bit of raw umber, not as much as we had before. And then I'm gonna start kind of showing some detail, not really detail, but the patina of this card with more of the medium tone, medium red. The bottom part here is usually darker, right here. So okay, again, mid-tone, some of the mid-tones in here, and some in here. Clean my brush a bit, wipe it, take more red, cadmium red medium. I'm going to add, I'm adding a bit of burnt, raw umber, I'm sorry, raw umber, but not as much as before. So I have here more of the cadmium red medium than raw umber. See how you see I'm slowly kind of creating a bit of a form, shape to this trunk by adding more of the highlights. I mean the red. And I'm not covering everywhere. I'm just looking at the looking at the reference, and I'm covering this red, stronger red, where the light hits. So this part right here is lighter. And I'm doing this on purpose. I'm not making it flat and clean, and you know, I want this patina like to look, the red on the car to look weathered. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more, highlight this part and this part. Okay, again, let's take more red with a touch, small amount of raw umber, and then kind of add a highlight where you see a lighter red. Now I'm going to take cadmium red medium, light, sorry, cadmium red light. It's a bit more orangey looking. And sorry, also with this kind of light cadmium medium, I'm just gonna put a bit of red in there. We will glaze all of this where the window, the glass. Now, I shouldn't be touching this for now because it's still wet and it will lift. So I'm going to do something else meanwhile until it, you know, waiting for it to dry. I'll try to fix a couple of things here. All right, there's kind of a little bit of a shadow area here. And another one right here, darker. So I'm just using raw umber with a bit of red, and here too. Let's see where else we can use that. Raw umber, red, but more raw umber. And maybe here. Although I'm going to go over this part with some cadmium red light. But still, a bit of that raw umber and red down here as well. All right, good. What else? It's like shadow areas. Okay. Let's take, receive. Still wet. So for the car to look like it's kind of jumps forward, we need to highlight this part. I will try right now and hopefully it won't lift. So I'm going to take cadmium red light, mix it with cadmium red medium, not cadmium red medium, cadmium red light only, with actually a touch of raw umber as well. because cadmium red light is too strong, too light. And if you look at the reference, you will see that this red, even if it's highlighted, it has the cadmium red medium in it. So I mixed both, and I'm going to come here, try to highlight the top, a little bit of right here. Top again. I'm going to soften this raw umber that I put there. I'm just going to soften it, and I'm going to highlight this part. All I want to do is make sure it looks like it's turning down. So, and this one here too, that follows this part too. And just kind of go in with this cadmium red light mixed with cadmium red medium. And now I'm going to switch to, again, more of the cadmium red medium. I didn't clean my brush. I just added again the cadmium red medium with raw umber, because this part of the card goes in, so it's darker. Okay. Okay, let's do that again. A little bit more of the darkish green, red. Ugh, where did green come from? Okay, let's go again. Cadmium red light mixed with a bit of cadmium red medium. I don't want to go over it too many times, because it lifts, especially red. Red pigment lifts easily because it doesn't dry fast. That's good enough. Okay. Let's take a little bit of...
I'm going to get going.
Okay. Bye, Deborah.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Yep, keep well, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm using now a bit of the Naples Yellow with the reds that I have down here. And I'm going to take this Naples Yellow and push this color up here with red. Because again, the top of the hood is going to be lighter. Okay, that's good. So I do have a bit of kind of a movement where the higher part is lighter than it's right here is lighter but more saturated red, and then it becomes darker at the bottom. So for that color here that's not 100% saturated, I added a bit of Naples Yellow mixed with red. Let's put the same Naples Yellow mixed with red with a round brush, because I can control that. And then I'm just going to give it a line right here. And this line that I'm putting right there is a reflection of the light on the hood. So I can increase this reflection by adding more Naples Yellow to red. we have to be careful with Naples Yellow and Red. It turns pink, but it's not like the pink, it's kind of a orangey pink. Which is fine. And again, okay, good. That's not bad at all. There's kind of a mixed, kind of a little bit of a detail here where red is mixed. It's darker. It's mixed with raw umber in here. Like this part right there. There's like a patina here where the red is mixed with raw umber. All right, so next I'm going to take raw umber, round brush, and I'm going to enhance this color, this part, this detail of the trunk. Go down. I'm going to add a bit of black into the raw umber. Darken this part here. And inside the lamp, right here, we have the color, so we can do that. Next week we'll probably use the same colors, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it's darker the top, these, but it doesn't matter as long as there's like a dark detail in there. Now I'm going to take red, cadmium red medium, and I'm going to add again some raw umber in there. I'm going to paint the bulb inside and the bulb right here as well. There's no bulb inside these two little ones at the bottom, so just up here. Darken the bottom of the bulb a bit. Tiny bit at the bottom. And I'm going to highlight the top. All right, let's take a little bit of white raw umber, and red. Okay, this should be good. Let's see. And I'm going to give this kind of bulb inside a little bit of a highlight on top. So the top of this bulb is lighter and the bottom is darker. I don't know, does it make sense what I'm saying? Or do you want me to explain more? Like, would you like me to show you on a separate piece of canvas what I mean by the bulb being kind of darker at the bottom and lighter on top? Or are you okay? What do you think, ladies?
I didn't see what did you use to make it lighter on top? I'm okay.
You're okay, okay. So it is a round, it's like an oval shape.
Yes.
And all I'm doing is, I used cadmium red medium and raw umber, okay? And now, at the bottom of this, like the bottom of the bulb, there is more, it's a bit darker, right here, darker bottom right here, and darker kind of with raw umber, more raw umber and red right here. Then I took white and I added the white to the cadmium red medium and raw umber right here with a round brush and just put a highlight on top right here.
Yeah, no problem.
Is that okay?
Oh, that's great.
Okay,
Thanks.
good. Okay. Okay, there we go. Here we go. That's it. Once we put the rim around, it will look much better. I'll stop for now. If you have time, because we have the color, the paint, I just want to use, I'm going to use black and raw umber to paint the wheels. Because we have the colors, we have the paint. Just these, just the wheels. And if you don't have time, no problem. Next week we're going to use black again with white, some grays right there. Again, another one. Oops. Right here. More black. I'm taking more black, especially closer to the rim of the car. And now I'm going to take a little bit of white into this black, kind of a tiny bit of that gray color, and give this part more of a grayish color. And inside the car, I'm going to do this. That's black. That's black. I'm just camouflaging this detail. I don't want to see the wheels sitting by themselves up two lines filled with black. I'm just kind of camouflaging a bit the connection between the wheels. with some black.
What color will you use there?
Black. Sorry.
Just black. Okay.
Yeah, just black.
Yeah, just on the underneath. Okay.
Yeah. And since we're doing this right now, and I'm just going to use raw umber, and all of this is being recorded, so you will see it on the. I'm going to do a shadow of the, because otherwise they look floating if you don't put a bit of shadow underneath. Okay, that's good. That's all we need to do for this week. So we're done for this week. All right, so we're done for this week. Next week we will work on the rest of the detail on the car.